Good day, everyone. Welcome to our weekly recap number 170. I am joined today by Safiya and two of our community members, Luis and Greg, for another special edition. Hello. Since Rick is on a well-deserved vacation after months working hard to organize VeeamON conference, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in the special department news. But before that, welcome, guys. Greg, Luis, how are you today?
Good,
Doing well.
Yep, thank you very much. Since this is your first time being part of the recap, why don't you give us a short introduction on yourself? Greg, would you like to go first?
Sure, thank you. My name is Greg Barney. I work for Opti9. I'm a manager of BCDR over there, and I'm also a Veeam Vanguard.
Great, thank you very much for that. Luis?
Awesome. I am Luis. I'm based in Spain. I am Veeam Legend, and I work as a business analyst for infrastructure.
Amazing. And yeah, you are a VUG Spain leader as well.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you forgot to mention that. And Greg is actually a VUG USA as well.
That's right, for Boston.
For Boston, yes. So thank you for that, guys. And yeah, Greg was at VeeamON, so we might just talk about it and ask him some opinions later on. Luis watched us as well, but online, so he might want to share it later on with us as well. So keep that in mind. So should we then jump into the content and just go over the awesome articles that our community shared with us in the past weeks? What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ready for that? Okay. So we're going to start with some great news. That was the Veeam Recovery Orchestrator 7.1 that is here, I think, for the past 2 weeks. And Emily in here is discussing on this update to Veeam 12.1. And she's talking about the new features that were included, like the first one she's mentioning, and she says that her favorite one is the Yara rule tab in Orchestrator, which allows for Yara rule files to be managed by VRO. And then she talks later in the second paragraphs about the ability to skip a specific VM within a plan from execution during data lab tests. And then the last one she's talking about is the new support for Veeam Data Cloud Vault. I want to ask the two of you, what is your takeaway? What do you think about these new features? Any other features that you think could be helpful for the next release? Well, what do you think? Are you using the orchestrator?
I think one of the cool features that was highlighted in this one was the data lab exclusion, and that's one of my favorites there because I think it really highlights the community because she's calling out that like, hey, this actually came in by way of request from a managed service provider that they were assisting during their trial period. So even during their trial, that MSP was giving some feedback, and Veeam took that and ran with it and actually added a new feature to the product, which I think really kind of highlights how good the community is and the relationship that Veeam has with the community, and how open they are to feedback and implementing it.
Yeah, that's actually a great one. I agree. And Luis, any thoughts on it?
To me, what it caught my eye that these Yara rules are kicking very hard in all the products and all the security and features around. And it's amazing how fast Veeam is implementing all these new features and capabilities in all the products talking together and being implemented that you can manage them from different angles. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to see what else is coming for the orchestrator. I'm sure a lot of other features and new improvements are going to come. So this is fantastic. And Emily is super passionate about this. So let's see. I'm sure she's going to give us an update in the community. But yeah, thank you for your opinions on that. And I think we are ready to move forward with our second piece of content that comes from Steve Hart. He's one of our MVPs based in Switzerland. so also part of the Veeam 100, talking about that. And he's discussing here the planned Windows recall functionality. And this involves Windows saving snapshots of your screen at regular intervals. You can quickly search through your snapshots to find things on your Copilot Plus PC, like content that you have seen in applications, website, images, documents. And if you want to know more, he's sharing actually the official page there. I don't know, maybe we can just open it if you want, Safiya. There is a link in
Privacy
there.
control or GitHub?
No, there is, I think is the where it says Windows Recall. So that's
Mhm.
actually the official page, and then you get all the steps with the recall and the demos and all the information regarding this. What is interesting in here in his article, I feel like the way he wrote it, he doesn't feel very happy about this. And I see like also the community, in the community comments, there is like a negative sentiment, there is that concern that data can be accessed without admin rights. So what do you think about that, Greg?
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of very deserved skepticism. On the surface, it seems kind of like a neat feature at first, but as Steve is pointing out in this post, and as is everybody in the community, there's a lot of concern around what it's doing, what it's storing, where it's storing, who can access it, right? Which we can see his addendum down there. Steve says, hey, actually, it's possible that you can get it without administrator rights. It's a huge problem, and I think your CEO, kind of made a neat point about this in one of the keynotes, which was that like, hey, data's getting extracted and it may even be encrypted, right? But people are holding on to that, so that they can use it later for ransom. Something like this, which may not be encrypted, still, you can hold on to that information. You don't have to use it right away. You can use it for blackmail or any other, sorts of things. And, the last thing I'll say is that, every once in a while on security Twitter, it gets, lit ablaze with criticisms of new features or exploits and things like that. And this one definitely set it on fire. There was a lot of talk about it, and I think it's mostly negative.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how I felt about it. Even the way that, like the tone of his voice in this article, it felt like that. But then I think there is an update. If you just scroll down, Safiya, they say like, okay, there is an update. They announced that this function will be turned off by default. So probably that.
Thank God it will be disabled by default. That's very dangerous, as we already said.
Yeah, but what happens if somebody turns it on? Is there something that notifies you that it's turned on, right? We talk a lot about persistent threats or things sitting on systems and waiting to make its move, whether it's deleting backups, or in this case it could be, hey, get access to a system, wait a little while, turn it on at night if the PC's on at night or something, right? What is there to visually tell the user that this is on? So
yeah. So they still have to make some improvements in there, right, with this tool, I would say.
Or get rid of it.
Or get rid of it, yeah.
All IT security departments will be dreaming with this to say, oh, hell no.
Yeah. Hopefully there's a GPO to turn it off, to all of your workstations, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Sometimes you have to understand that you made a mistake with something and just, be like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, people were pointing out on Twitter and stuff that it doesn't have a way of obscuring passwords that are being entered, right? Think about terminal sessions or SSH sessions, right? To switching or anything like that, all those commands and everything like that. That's a treasure trove of information if somebody gets a hold of it, because now you can potentially laterally move, across a network or something like that if you're seeing host names and how things are talking to each other because of like a Copilot session, right? That's looking at a terminal view.
Yeah. So
diagrams and so on.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Luis?
This scares me a little bit with all these Copilot technologies behind the scene. This is just the tip of the iceberg, because this was published and we know about it, but how many things are running behind the scene and we don't know about it? How many things are they testing with all this AI, Copilot, and automations behind that? You're not really reading information, you just accept the terms and conditions and you move forward. That's what scares me the most. So I'm really happy that this just appeared, because it's just the tip of the iceberg, as I said. So let's see how it goes.
And
I
then we
agree
know
completely.
that, yeah, we know that people are not reading terms and conditions that very often, right?
Not at
Guilty
all.
of that.
Yeah, right. So that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, good topic. But scary too. So let's move forward to the next one. This is more like is actually a question from Shane for practicing for the people that are going to go for the VMC exam. So what he's asking in here is, he says, like, your Veeam backup and replication server OS is nearing end of life, so you decide to build a new Veeam server. What is the best way to retain all your Veeam and job settings on the new server? And he has like a bunch of options to answer. Now, what I want to do is like ask you which one would you choose, and then we can just go for the answers that the community gave to Shane and see like if it's the same answer that you choose or not. Let's try this. Let's have some fun with that.
The quiz.
Greg, please.
All right, I'll break the ice on it. I'm gonna go with E.
Okay, why?
Database migration. Why? Because I think that kind of encompasses some of the other answers that are in here, like an export or like say a restore, right? Because it's going to include the backup portion and the restore portion.
Okay, Luis?
To me, it's tricky because it doesn't say like all these questions on the certification exams, because as you can imagine or you can notice here, it's not telling you pick one or choose multiple, because the normal process is the export and then the restore.
Right, yeah.
But if you combine those, the action is to migrate the configuration. So it depends how you formulate the question. And of course, all these exams is you go to the specific answer. So to me, as Greg said, the E combines C and D. So depending on how you formulate the question, C plus D or E. My
Very
personal
specific,
opinion.
Luis. Very specific.
I like that process of elimination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what the community picked in here. So we have an E. Yay. A D.
E.
Okay. Another E. Okay, maybe it's E. Another
D.
Okay.
E. And then someone said
migrate. That's the E.
Yeah.
E.
That's the E, yeah.
And somebody said 1, perform a configuration database migrate operation. Okay, that's E.
Yeah, that's E.
1 for and then Chris said E.
Now we're gonna have to ask Shane.
I was gonna say,
to put the right answer.
Yeah, he should answer too.
Shane, let us know, because now we are confused with that.
Can we see which ones he's liking? Did he like all of them, or is he only liking?
He did like all of them.
Okay,
yeah.
that's nice though.
I think he more like appreciates people that are answering, rather than your answer is correct. So yeah, Shane, we are waiting on the right answer. Let us know.
And I would say one other addition to that database migration, because that is a pretty typical kind of operation, right? You also want to make sure that you're backing up your registry. If you've made any registry changes in there for Veeam, you want to back those up so you can import them onto the new server as well once you restore the configuration database.
Yeah. But I think he just made it intentionally very tricky, you know. So
It
yeah.
is, yes.
Which I
So
like
that,
because it gets you thinking, it gets you kind of discussing because, you know, there isn't anything wrong with D inherently, right? Because
yeah,
D is just assuming that you already have it, right? So it's not even
Exactly.
necessarily wrong. Yeah, it's like Luis
exactly.
said, like, you know, it's the tricky language and combining things in the order of elimination.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if you just make it easy, then people are gonna get bored with it, you know, be like, oh, okay, that's so obvious. So yeah, we like that shape. Keep the good work.
Yeah,
Exactly.
keep up
I
the work.
wanted to highlight the question and the community. This is, to me, this is what everything is all community about. Sharing knowledge, sharing experience. I had a few weeks ago in a conference, a guy came to me and asked me, "Hey, I'm preparing for my VMCE and a friend of mine as well. There is any resources?" And I addressed them to the community. I think this is a great way to highlight Veeam, highlight community, and also share knowledge and all
Definitely.
this tricky stuff. So to me, this is all community is about, just sharing
Yeah,
knowledge and expertise.
I agree, Luis. And you know, like some people might just, I had some conversation and some people be like, oh, I'm going to post in there, but no one's reading it. I don't get any reaction. But sometimes it's not even the reaction, you know. Some people are going to just go Googling it and then they find the article. They just don't go to like it or anything, but they going to use it. That information is going to be useful if, you know, it's valuable content that you create. So I think everyone in the community should contribute. If you have like anything like tips and tricks, best practices, short. It doesn't have to be something super long, you know. Like, so I
Mhm.
totally agree. The community is about that. Let's share information. Let's learn from one to another, you know. So yeah, totally.
Definitely.
I
Mhm.
like your point.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was it. Like in terms of content, we were pretty fast, I must say.
Were we?
Thank Yeah, I think so. Thank you for your opinions on that. And now I think we are ready to go for the special department news. Safiya is going
Yeah.
to talk about some events, and then she's going to let us know who's new in the community for this week. Safiya, all yours.
Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight some upcoming community events, and the first one actually relates to the article or the post we just read. The VMCE study hall that Shane operates is actually hosting another study group. They did one in, I believe, mid-May, and that was really successful. People came out, asked their questions, and we had Razvan, he's one of the Veeam MVPs, actually a Veeam technical trainer from Romania, come out, and he gave a presentation, helped people with any of their VMC questions that they had, and they're doing another one next Friday. We already have 29 people registered, and this one is going to be hosted by Shane and one of Veeam's other technical trainers, Chris Huss. Um, all about VMCE exam resources, how to bring your A game on test day, strategies to prepare for the exam, all of these important things that you'll need to prepare for your VMCE test. If you're interested, definitely register. There's still time. I think these VMCE, VMCA study groups are such a success because everyone is doing them if you're working with Veeam for the most part. So they're really useful, even if you don't currently plan to take your exam. I think it's still a good resource that you can partake in, and it's free. It's a community resource. This is for everyone to get involved with. Like Luis said, it's really useful and accessible to all. This will be recorded and shared afterwards. So yeah, just another great community event, helping everyone, virtual, accessible for all. If any of you, Greg or Luis, are preparing to get your VMC, maybe you already have it for this year, but definitely one that you can check out as well.
I am into too many things.
Luis is like, I'm everywhere
One
right
more,
now.
no way. But I do like checking this out once in a while. Yes.
It will be available afterwards. So even if you don't attend, you can still reference it later on, which is
Exactly.
great.
You can
That's
always go
awesome.
to, you know, it's going to be available at the community hub. It's going to be available on the YouTube, Veeam YouTube as well in the playlist. So, okay, let's say next year you want to take the exam and you want to find resources, it's going to still be available. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Somebody
exactly.
that is going to Google it, they're going to still be able to find it because we have it recorded, and we always like to have a link in here, a post, just for people to find it easier. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The next one is an in-person event, so not everyone can attend this one, but we're doing another user group event in 2 weeks in Minnesota, actually. This will be the first user group event in Minnesota. So we're really excited for this one. It's being hosted by Terrence. He's one of our new VUG leaders in the state of Minnesota. And this one is all about VeeamON content, which is really exciting because this is really the only user group event in the States this month. The Belgium group is hosting one this week that will discuss VeeamON updates. But if you're in the Minnesota region, this was just shared this week and you're able to come out, definitely join us. It'll be a great conversation. Emily, who is on the main stage, will be out there. Local SCs will be there to ask your questions, get some contacts, and network with your local Veeam users. So definitely register. It's available now on Eventbrite, but also the community hub to find all that information.
And talking about, VUG USA and like our leaders in the USA, this is a great opportunity for all the USA members of our community to meet Greg. He mentioned it. He is a VUG USA in Boston. So if they are based, in Boston or around Boston, it's good to put a face to the leader in there. And I don't know, Greg, if they want to contact you, how do they reach you out?
They can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me on the forums there, on the Veeam community as well. I'm also on Twitter. So yeah, you can find me in
You have an
bunch of
interesting
places.
username on
It's
our
everywhere,
community,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, Replicatius. Yeah.
Replicators,
Funny
okay.
one.
Because
Yeah.
people might just be like, Greg Barney, I cannot find him. So yeah, it's good to mention it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool one though. I like
The
it.
bugs are great. That's just a little backstory. That's kind of where I got my interest into Veeam. I had been using it as a tool at a MSP, and then I became a sysadmin, and we found one in New York City where I was working on Long Island at the time, and we said, oh, let's go check it out. And it's kind of having that interaction with somebody that knows the product so well, and then meeting other users of the product, and it's a great time. So if you have a chance to sign up for one that's near you, I definitely recommend it, just because the people that you meet, the knowledge that you gather, and again, it's just a gateway into the really awesome community that we have.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
And Greg became a
Totally.
leader just by chance. We were like,
Yeah.
we're in Massachusetts, we're going to be in Boston. Greg, come out and host a user group. He was like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And he
It was
enjoyed
a
it
lot
so
of
much,
fun.
he became a leader.
Yeah, it definitely kind of rekindles a lot of the interest, because you get to interact with the everyday users a lot more, and seeing them getting used to the product and experiencing it, either for the first time or growing into it, and how it can meet their business needs, and being able to kind of have that question and answer and problem solving with other users. It kind of brings you back again to when you're in the other seat, when you're on the other side of it and looking for help and assistance and everything. And it's just a great way to kind of give back, technically, and knowledge.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I went to a bunch of Veeam user groups, and I can confirm that everything you are saying is correct, and it's a great energy, and it's a great way to learn from each other. So totally.
Definitely. All right. Last piece of content for special department, just a plug. We did kind of a different type of recap last week on site at VeeamON. We were just reaching out to a bunch of the members who were in Fort Lauderdale. Do you want to be in the recap this week? Do you want to be in the recap this week? Various channels, and a few agreed. And we just filmed this interesting recap, asking them what their favorite sessions were, what they're looking forward to. We filmed this the day before the final day of VeeamON. And it's not officially on the Veeam channel because of timing wise, and everyone was kind of traveling late last week, but Rick was kind enough before his vacation to post it on his personal YouTube channel. So if you have not seen it yet, just a plug to check that out over there if you've missed last week's recap.
Yeah, and now that we have Greg and Luis here with us, why, Greg, you were there.
Mm. Yeah.
What is one takeaway from VeeamON this year?
Oh man, Linux, I would say, and
Linux.
Proxmox. Yeah, I think that was huge. Finding out that come version 13, there's going to be a version of it that'll be able to run fully on Linux. That's huge, obviously, for a bunch of different reasons. And then seeing like Proxmox support, seeing that Veeam is continuing to branch out and support other platforms as they emerge in popularity, and just kind of solidifying themselves as that premier product and service offering that's going to be able to protect your workloads pretty much no matter what they are or where they are. So it's exciting. It feels like a very exciting time for Veeam and to be a user of it and somebody that's in the community personally. It seems like things are really, really ramping up.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Luis, you were not there with us, unfortunately,
No, to
but you were
me,
watching some of the sessions. Any
yes,
takeaways for you?
to me, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Wow, I
The
would love to
takeaway
be
is
there.
The
jealousy.
takeaway is jealousy.
It's killing me nowadays. Oh man. But to me, the most important part of watching all over that I saw is how fast and how big Beam became and how well it covers almost all needs around IT. It's amazing all the things that you can do. And even though when you look at it, you still finding new ways to use it to improve your day-to-day operations, to support your security, or even though doing for migrations of other stuff. That is the thing that I love, the flexibility that brings not only a backup and replication tool, it's more than that. So it's supporting your full IT. And as Greg said, it caught my eye to me, the Linux version, because I've been asking for getting BBR under Linux for years because I really thought on BBR's independence, not being on top of an operating system that limits your IT operations, because maybe it's not something that you use on your day to day. Maybe your environment is fully Linux or different thing. So
Mhm.
why do you need to deploy it in something that you are not used to work with? So now that's a huge punch for this and I
Yeah,
love it.
fair
I
point.
start clapping, I start
Yeah.
jumping and laughing and
I got
crying
my
and all
phone
at the
out. It's
same
like,
time. I
oh,
get so excited. So it was like a keynote, like wow, oh my gosh,
yeah.
but I was alone here, so
Yeah. No, that was great. I think everyone was very happy to hear um, that news. So yeah, awesome stuff. Okay. So yeah, if you haven't watched our recap from VeeamON, um, especially the last part, which is very
please
funny,
do.
please do.
You don't need to
Please
spoil
do.
it. I watched it a few times. I'm still laughing. So it was
We
amazing.
filmed it for like almost 2 hours. It was chaotic to get that recap done. But
It's got a great thumbnail though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell from my reaction, right? That's gonna
No,
be fun.
it was amazing. Yeah.
Okay, who's new?
who's new? Get that up. So yeah, we did not do Who's New last week. Of course, being at VeeamON, it was harder to do that with the recap. But for the past 2 weeks, we've had 144 people join us on the recap. All of these names here. Any of them stick out to either of you before I move on to some of my picks? I know there's so many names on the screen, they all just like blended
Wow.
together.
Yeah.
I'm just Spikes, for
I like
example, caught my
Spaceman
eye.
Spiff. Spaceman Spiff is great. I'm a Calvin and
Spaceman
Hobbes
Spiff.
fan. Yeah.
I can see one there that I'm not sure. Hate M SOB. I'm not sure what it means, but I think that's interesting at least.
Okay. Move on
Backup
to
Forever was a good one. I just said Backup Forever.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Spikes.
so I did pick both of your choices. Yeah,
Ah!
Spikes and Spaceman Spiff. Also, Vel Matrix, and not Hugo, because if you're not Hugo, who are you? That is the question.
Cool.
Who is that?
I like that.
Let us know. And for
Yeah.
Alfred's pick of the week, we have Backup Forever, which Greg also picked out. So
Yeah.
what this is about.
It
But that's
has to be
playing
an
safe.
Alfred thing.
It's playing safe. Who should I have picked, Luis?
I don't know, but Alfred speaks backup forever, but it's
Well,
plain safe, you know.
Alfred always picks if you have like anything Veeam in it or backup or data protection, Alfred
Exactly.
is gonna pick you, you know. It's just like be like, yeah, there you go. You are the one. So yeah. Okay, super cool. Really enjoy this recap. Any final thoughts from you guys?
No, just that it's great to be to have the opportunity to jump on here with you guys and highlight the community and meet everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being with us, and it has been great. I kind of laughed a little bit. So thank you. It was a great conversation. Luis, any final thoughts on your side?
I just want to thank you for inviting and having me here, for working so hard for the community and for supporting all this day to day. So congrats, thanks, and for everybody watching out there, please join the community, step in, even though you don't participate actively, read, support, share, and that it's all about. Share, support, and just be there.
That sounds a lot like, you know, I watch some travel vloggers, and that sounds like their end.
Their
So,
outro. Subscribe, like, comment,
yeah.
share.
Like, subscribe, comment, follow,
Exactly. So do
click
all
click
those.
the
Do
bell.
all those because more awesome recaps are coming your way. So thank you once again, guys, for being with us, for helping us discussing the community articles this week, and thank you everyone for watching it and stay with us until the end. We'll see you next week with another special recap with two other special guests. Thank you. Have an awesome weekend.